Before we can start the sim on our final season here with the Vancouver Canucks, we do have a couple of roster moves we need to make, so let's go ahead and get you guys a look at what the final team is going to look like. Our first trade, now I'm choosing to side with Corey and Gannon, despite them both being left-handed shots. If you guys have watched the series, you'll know that I like to have lefties on the left, righties on the right to change that up for the power play. But I'm going to go with my gut on this one and keep the two guys that we drafted. So Benda is being sent to Carolina, along with two prospects we just drafted that aren't going to pan out for their first round pick this year. Next up, it's a massive group of players who simply aren't going to pan out. A seventh defenseman, two AHL level guys, and two bottom six forwards. We send them to Tampa for their second, fourth, and sixth round picks this season. And our last trade is sending Hanula, who has dropped to bottom six forward potential, to Carolina for their next two third round picks. And our last trade is once again with the Carolina Hurricanes, sending three defensemen, all top six potential, to the Hurricanes for their next two second round picks and a third round pick way down the line. So I will show you just how much we have taken from the Hurricanes. They have one first round pick, could be first overall depending on how bad they are, and that's pretty much it. No seconds, no thirds over the next 2 years. So with all that taken care of, guys, here is the team for the final season. And I know what some of you might be thinking, if it is the final season, why not just trade everybody away and make a super team? I might come back to this, maybe not on YouTube, but maybe in my personal time, I might come back to this. But here is the team. It is a well-oiled machine. Obviously, our draft success has been the reason. It has been the reason that this team has been successful for so long, being able to constantly replenish our prospects, trading them away for picks to just keep that cycle going. It's been a wonderful, wonderful thing. But Esa Hall, 96 overall, obviously a little bit better. Some of the overalls are a bit lower because of some of those trades. He is with DeRocher, and Ray McMillan will get the chance on that top line. 5-star puck skills, 96 overall passing. Hopefully he can set up Esa Hall quite a bit this season. Second line is Drouin, Heinen, and Melvin Doyle. The third line is Mahalak, Matthews, and Jake Sloan. The fourth line, Sheldon York, Jorgen Backlund, and Dmitry Korolev. So not too bad. Defensively, of course, it is Chychrun, Yasina, both down in overall point. Par Forstrom down in overall point. Unfortunately, he is still with Plot. And then Corey and Gannon replacing Rudolph Benda in the lineup. Goaltenders, you already know, it is Mahalak and Koivisto. And taking a look quickly at the AHL, this might be the best the Utica Comets have ever looked. You have Bakar, elite potential, Kalinen's jump to low franchise potential, and Harry Noonan, high elite. Ludwig, low elite. Joel Stewart, top 6. Ryan Fitzgerald, top 6. I believe we don't have, I think only our fourth line is top 9 players. Yeah, it is. So everybody else is top 6 or higher. Defensively, it's looking good. Sebastian Renz, who of course we just drafted, starts off at a 79 overall. He'll play with Oleg Mogilny. You have Nathaniel Woodworth, who of course was the 8th overall pick in the last draft, with Vetterl, both elite potentials. Bales and Thomas Persson, both elite potential. So despite a lot of the low potentials, they are still very good, very promising. Germain will be the starting goaltender behind Dolan. We did not sign our other potential goalie there. And quickly too, I'll get you a look not only at the draft picks, but at some player overalls before we start this sim. Like I said, there's a main reason why I don't want to just trade everything away. But of course, you look at our draft picks. Yeah, we have 6 in the first round. Tons of seconds. I mean, it's looking really good. We've just been able to keep up the constant cycle of great assets flowing into this team. But I wanted to show you some of the potentials, like Bales, for example, who is low elite, but has nothing. Same with Vetterl and Persson, just nothing in terms. Even Woodworth, who was the 8th overall pick. Look at how low that trade value is. I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe our luck has finally run out. Kalinin, who is low franchise, is worth barely a 3rd round pick. So I don't know what's going on with that. It's certainly, and Picard was the other really low one. Durrett as well, who was down in the CHL. We tried to sign him. He didn't go. But yeah, that could be a little bit concerning. I'm not sure if all these players will end up panning out, but let's get into the sim. I'm not sure how far we will go. I don't know if we'll go to the All-Star break. That might be a little bit too far away. It might make this episode much longer than it needs to be. We'll go to player morale here. If my voice sounds off, for the record, I've been extremely sick, which is why this video is going up so late, if it actually does go up on today, which would be Sunday. I hate to date my videos, but we start the season off with a win against the Edmonton Oilers. Not too bad of a start there. Overtime, though, so we gave him a point, which kind of sucks. But Koivisto will make, I believe, what's his NHL debut. I don't think he's had to start a game. I think we've had to call him up before, but he's never had to start. He gets the game against the Anaheim Ducks, and that is also an overtime win. So we're handing points to two divisional rivals, but at the very least, we are getting the wins here to start. The big question this season, of course, is what can Mahalak do? What can McMillan and Doyle do on that second line? Austin Matthews performed great on that third line in the playoffs last season, so I'm hoping he can keep that up. But let's see here. Good year for rookies. It's always a good year for rookies, but we lose 4-2, our first loss of the year, and we lose back-to-back games. Isn't that great? So not the best stretch of games there, but that is all right. I actually want to see how McMillan is doing already. 2 points for him, and Melvin Doyle 2 points as well. I guess it's a little bit too early to expect anything else. Koivisto will get this next start against the undefeated 2-0 Nashville Predators, and then we'll actually get a decent bit of simming out of the way. It's a 2-1 win, Koivisto undefeated, and we will be simming into the month of November. We are getting a lot of simming done here, going to this game on November 25th against the LA Kings. So overall, not our best run of form. We are 13-8-1 on the season. We've had to deal with just a ton of injuries to almost everybody in the bottom six. Austin Matthews currently out injured. Drouin's been hurt. It's been a pretty difficult go, but so far it's been all right for Mahalak. I really, as I did that, I haven't checked. I really thought it was going to be better than a 905 save percentage, especially for a 91 overall goalie. I'm not sure really how it isn't. Chychrun and Yasina are doing all right. Forsstrom and Plant struggling a little bit. It's actually the third pairing that might actually be our best defensive pairing, I should say. But yeah, I don't understand what Mahalak's issues are with his game, but hopefully he can get that under control. Koivisto, though, now 3-0 on the season, gets a 4-0 shutout. So that is a very promising sign, although I don't think you want your 84 overall backup goalie to be leading the way. Jonathan Drouin continues to complain. He has been doing that all season long, and unfortunately for him, nothing is going to change, at least at the moment, as although maybe it should, because we are in third place in our division. But Mahalak takes the net back, as we will have another decent bit of simming to do here, I believe. Actually, I haven't even checked into December, and yeah, relatively decent. We will sim up to this game on December 11th against the Montreal Canadiens. So overall, a 23-10-1 record on the season. We ended up simming an extra week to the second back-to-back against Winnipeg and Edmonton. Koivisto played against Montreal and the Jets and picked up a 3-1 win in both games, and we are now in first place in our division. I just want to give you guys a quick look at the stats. We will go to the All-Star break in this game, and then of course the trade deadline, and sim up the rest of the season in the next one, and hopefully get into the playoff picture. It would be a pretty anticlimactic ending to this series if we were to miss the playoffs. But Hall, DeRoche are doing well. Melvin Doyle we've actually put up on the top line. He is performing pretty well. Danton Heinen and Jonathan Drouin have really slowed down, which is unfortunate. They've been playing with McMillan. And of course, as I said, we've had a ton of injuries to the bottom six. Austin Matthews came back for one game and was injured again. And as you see, Forsstrom just came back from an injury as well. Taking a look at the goalies, Mahalak is up to a 92 overall and a 914 save percentage. That's pretty much league average, which means we are going to succeed. If he could get that up to like a 930 and really be one of the elite goaltenders in this league, we would be President's Trophy winners for sure. Koivisto, 5-5 record on the season so far with a 965 save percentage. He is up to an 85 overall. So needless to say, I am confident if Mahalak can't get it done down the stretch, that Koivisto could be more than a suitable replacement. But right now, it's looking like we are simming up to the All-Star break, and very, very few back-to-backs this season, very few opportunities for Koivisto. But let's go ahead and do this, simming to January 25th, the All-Star game. Let's do this. We've reached the All-Star break with a 34-12-1 record. Honestly, it's better than I thought it would be. The last 3 games, Mahalak went down to injury after the 6-0 win against the Sharks, and it was Koivisto in goal for these last 3 games. 3-0 record, man. He might be the next coming of Torsten Nyquist in terms of his reliability. We are in first place by quite a few games from the looks of it. Calgary Flames do have 7 overtime losses, but only 26 wins. Esa Hall, our leading scorer. We are 10 points clear of the Calgary Flames with the game in hand. We have a lot of hockey to be played, but needless to say, if we lose out on the division title at this point, it's our fault. Like, there is no reason that should happen. But like I said, we are done with the sim for this episode. I'll give you a quick look at the stats, and of course you guys, if you have any input on what we should change, what we should look to do as we approach the playoffs, maybe get Ray McMillan off that second line. He looks a little bit much like Yoensu in terms of his lack of production. Sloan, even Matthews or Mihalek. That third line is actually playing very well. Keep in mind, Matthews has been injured for nearly half the season at this point. But I think we need somebody better for that second line. But I don't want to break up the third line because they're playing really well. But let me know what you guys would do. Kalinin is now in the lineup full time. He's up to an 85. Sheldon York is there. Korolev, not the biggest point totals, but again, the bottom 6 has been an absolute revolving door at this point here in this season so far. 33 points for Chychrun, 32 of them assists. Yasina really picking up the point totals. Forsstrom playing well. And yeah, it's looking good defensively. And of course, goaltenders. Koivisto has been a wall, a 957 save percentage. Mahalak still hovering around at a 914, which is pretty disappointing. But Vesa Koivisto could be, he might be the guy. He might be the guy to lead the way. We will go with Mahalak for the next while. But needless to say, I am more than confident with Koivisto being there. Backlund not happy with his ice time. He shouldn't be. He's usurped by Kalinin. I almost forgot his name. It's Kalinin. But yeah, that pretty much does it for this episode, guys. A nice sim period for the most part, aside from the fact that this episode, the raw file is about 3 times as long as the final version of this episode will be because of all his injuries. But the team is still performing very well. We are in first place in the NHL. And of course, in the next episode, we will go through the trade deadline, make any upgrades where you guys see fit, and we will find out who we play in the first round. Because let's be honest, it would take an epic collapse for us to not make the playoffs. And I feel confident that I'm not going to jinx that because we have such a strong team. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope it was still somewhat entertaining. Again, not feeling all that great, but I wanted to get this episode up there. Remember, too, the polls in the description below, they are the same polls from yesterday's video in terms of what type of Eastern Conference team should we pick and what type of nation should we pick for that series as well. Keep in mind, it has listed Russia, Sweden, and Finland, but if we go with the idea of rest of world, not only do I think will it be more challenging, but I also won't include countries like Slovakia and the Czech Republic, so it is going to be very difficult. For example, on this Vancouver team right now, we have less than 5 players who aren't from one of the big hockey nations. So keep in mind just how difficult of a challenge that will be. I really think it would be or I really think it would make for the more interesting series. But again, it's up to you guys. I want to know what you guys would like to see from me. But again, I hope you enjoyed this episode as always. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more, and I will see you guys next time.